Now, let's go look at some upcoming games. Now, I'm going in chronological order. So we have a game that theoretically is coming out today. But our first game for today is going to be Guayota, which is coming. It's out today. It is supposed to be a 3D puzzle adventure game developed by Team Delusion. It is going to be selling for $14.99 on the Nintendo Switch eShop. And by the way, a demo is available. I downloaded it. I have not had time to play it yet, but there is a free demo available on the eShop. So let's watch the trailer. It's 59 seconds, and then we will talk briefly about the game before jumping to the next one. So let's watch Guayota. So, Guayota, let's get back to just pop a little section here. So, number one, loving the art style. Art style is beautiful, top-down action puzzle game. However, light on the action because we don't see any combat in the trailer. I doubt there is any real combat in the game, but looks very good to me. However, sales price at $15.99 is a little steep, but you'll see that it's going to be a recurring theme for this week. I don't know what's up with indie games right now, but indie games are really, a lot of them are very expensive. And I don't know if it's because they're going to be depending on the discounts to get them to normal prices, which some games do to hit impactful discounts where the game launches at $25, but it's 50% off 1 month out of 2, meaning that and it gets people excited. But the game has interesting art style. I'm positive. I always love when games have free demos because generally if a game has a demos that they're pretty confident that the demo is going to sell the game. So I haven't had a chance to try it out myself, but I have high hopes that this game will deliver something pretty good. Question is it going to be delivering $15 of goodness? I don't know. And I'll just be honest, I don't think I will have time to review this game this week, simply because I have my review coming out on Steam World Heist 2. I also have my review coming out on Vulgar, the Viking 2. Steam World Quest Heist 2, by the way, I have maybe 3-4 hours left. Thank you so much, man. Glad you could catch it too. And I'm sorry, I'm still speechless about your huge donation, my man. I'm still flabbergasted. Vulgar, yeah, Vulgar. I'll maybe stream once I'm better at the game. Because right now it'll just be a bunch of me swearing all the time. But so yeah, so there's just a lot of games coming out, and you'll see later on the list, although this game looks amazing, I do think there's a few harder hitting games on the list coming up. But we have Guayota looking very good. High hopes for this one for this week. Next on the 14th, so Wednesday, which by the way is my wife's birthday, we have
Max freelance post.
Sam and Max, The Devil's Playhouse, which is the port of an older Sam and Max. However, it's been remastered. It'll be selling for $19.99. It is currently on sale, 10% off. And basically selling for $17.99 till the release date. So let's take a look at Sam and Max, The Devil's Playhouse. And basically, I do think that Sam & Max is either going to be like, you like Sam & Max or you don't like Sam & Max. But if you haven't tried the game and you don't know about it, let's watch the trailer.
Police.
Cue up the entrance music.
If any one of us could unlock the power of the mind, would we use it to explore the mysteries of the infinite, or would we use it to destroy?
Hey, Sam! This haunted toy I found just gave me a vision of our violent future.
What could it all mean?
I just want to get to the part where I have those sweet psychic powers.
Minions, after him!
I smell a convoluted plan coming on. 2 in 1 blow.
I think he crushed my trachea.
Will Max be able to control his emerging powers? Or are his visions of the future a sign of tragedy to come?
Enjoying the ride, Sam?
Shouldn't I be waking up about now? We're on the case.
Freelance police, I heard a lot about you guys.
I have come to issue a challenge. I offer the adventure of a lifetime.
Now we're getting to the good part.
Looks like it's time to boil the haggis.
Max is all short-term memory. I have to bring him back up to speed every once in a while.
Ah! Giant talking dog!
This is merely the overture of a symphony of mayhem that will blow your ever-loving mind.
Cannot remove inventory. Where do you keep your personal items?
It's none of your damn business, computer.
So basically, Sam & Max is a Telltale. Well, it's now a Telltale series. It wasn't originally, but it is now a Telltale series. And if you don't know Telltale, they're sort of like digital novels, in game format. But honestly, they do the games amazingly. The thing is, Sam & Max is a special brand of humor. It's a little bit of a drier humor than maybe people are used to nowadays. But that's why I said before watching the trailer, either you're going to like what you see or you won't. Now, do be aware that it's like an interactive novel style of game. So it's not going to be like an action game. It's nothing like that. But if you're into the Sam & Max series, you're going to want to pick this one up. I still find that $20 is a little heavy for this kind of game because you're not going to often play it multiple times. But at the same time, it's a remaster of a really great game. Sam & Max, I'm not sure if it was a movie. I know it used to be a game series. Like Sam & Max was around like, I feel like the 90s already. It was around like since about the 90s on it. But it used to be a PC. Like there used to be PC games. I don't know if they were on console. I have a little blank there. But basically, if you're a fan of Sam & Max, be aware this one is coming out on Wednesday. I do think it is one of the noteworthy games this week. Now, next we have Minami Lane, which is going to be like my budget game to watch out for this week. Minami Lane is only $4.99, and it is coming out on the 15th, which is Thursday. Now, at $4.99, this game seems interesting. Only thing is, I'm really wondering if it's going to be delivering on something that works long term. I am not watching the Borderlands movie. I'm not paying money for for everything I heard. I'm not paying money for that. But this one looks very interesting. I love time management games, and I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler of tomorrow's eShop deals video, by the way, after today, because there is a deal right now on the eShop that is freaking insane. Okay, like insane. So, but let's get to the trailer. $4.99 budget indie game, and it looks super interesting if you're into management games.
Welcome to Minami Lane. Created by developers Doot and Bleep Bloop, you'll build your own street in this cozy, casual management sim. Unlock and customize buildings, manage your shops, and maximize the happiness of your villagers to complete quests and fill your street with love. Enjoy 2 to 4 hours of cute tanukis, delicious ramen bowls, tiny boba cafes, and lots of cats. Coming to Nintendo Switch in 2024.
So the trailer is not that long. We don't get like a huge load of information or what exactly you can do exactly. Well, I think it does. I think it gives us, you need more violent games. I think they're coming up. I think we have at least, I think we have maybe one game coming up that's like violent this week. But I can't even remember. But we'll see them as we go along. Like I said, visual memory to me. But honestly, the one thing I think is going to make whether I'm going to be super excited about this game or medium excited about this game is the replayability factor. Because they say a playthrough is about 2 to 4 hours. Now, if you can play 2 to 4 hours, do a full playthrough, and then start over and do like a fresh street in a whole different fashion, then I'd be super excited. Of course, if it pigeonholes you sort of into always having the same shops and the same things, I do find that a little bit disappointing. But hopefully you have like, I'll give you an example. If you have like 20 spaces for shops, but you have like 50 options of shops, so you automatically in one playthrough will never have all the shops, I think that could be super interesting. I don't know if you get me, because you 2 to 4 hours, you do a playthrough, you reach the end, and then you get to try over with different shops, different options. I'd be into that because I like games that will give you multiple playthroughs, especially when you're talking about a $5 budget price point. And 2 to 4 hours is still decent where you're going to be able to have a fun playthrough. And you're definitely going to be, if the game is good, it's not too much of an investment where you won't mind doing 2 or 3 of these playthroughs. Okay, so I'm hoping it. I think there is serious potential here. Alex is excited about the game, so possibly he already has some insider information about it. But I am positive on it as well. This is coming out on the 15th. On the 15th, however, we do have 2 more games. Let's look at the first one of the 2 other games.
Louis Dulac.
Hold on.
All you cowards out there talk.
Our next one is going to be Just Crow Things. And I'm telling you right away, this is so funny because we're gonna watch the trailer, but right away when I see this game, it makes me think automatically of another game. And I want you guys, as you watch the trailer, let me know what game this game makes you think of as you're watching the trailer. And let's see if you came up with the same game as the one I came up with. So, yeah, I saw it from a couple of people out there. You're right, it could maybe be Goat Simulator, but even myself, I didn't really play Goat Simulator. But yeah, Untitled Goose Game is the one that comes to right now. You're a crow being a pain in the ass. This game is all about being a crow who's just a huge pain in the ass, and and it looks to be like Untitled Goose Game, like mission-based. You're going to have to accomplish certain feats, certain things, and you're going to have to find inventive ways of getting it done. I do think this is most likely going to be a fun experience. By the way, this one is also $19.99, currently on discount 10% for $17.99. Coming out on Thursday, I said that earlier, the 15th. But I do find it, however, a little bit expensive for this type of game in this format. Like, had they gone for like a $10 to $15 price point, I feel this would have been better. Because it's a lot to ask for a game that is like so unserious, and especially at $20, you've got a lot of games in that place. You know what I mean? Yeah, Untitled Goose I think was 15 full price, and then 10. It's often 10 and lower on discount, but you're right that it's somewhere around there. But what is totally funny is when I watched this trailer, I right away thought of Untitled Goose Game. And that was a great game, super lot of fun. If this one turns out to be close to that, it's going to be something that is very fun. But the funniest part ever is the next game on the list is actually from the developers of Untitled Goose Game. But this game isn't. But the next game is, and it's a totally different game than Untitled Goose Game. So I just found that super funny, where I was like, oh my God, who made this game? And I looked into the developers, and it's not the developers of Untitled Goose Game. And then when I got to looking at who the developer is of the next game I wanted to take a look at, I'm like, hey, this is the developer of Untitled Goose Game. Like, what are the odds that at the same time, on the same day as a game is releasing like their previous game, they're actually releasing a new game in a totally different format? So let's take a look at Arco, which is the next game. And this is the game from the developers of Untitled Goose Game. Now, this one looks extremely interesting, and this is going to be your violent game, although it's violent pixel art. But this is your violent game that you're maybe looking for. So that is Arco. Now, this one I'm going to need a little bit of convincing on. I'll just be honest. I saw it. I was sort of on the fence. Then when I saw that it was the same developer as Untitled Goose Game, I gave it a second look and I said, you know what? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Because I was like not super convinced. And it's supposed to be a strategic action game. And the pixel art looks like, I like pixel art, but it looks like overly pixelated. Okay? However, at the same time, like I said, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they turned a super original concept into something super fun with Untitled Goose Game. So I agree with you, Frenchy Bomb. I like turn-based, but I'm not sure it's going to work for this style of game, but I'm willing to give it a chance. However, once again, my biggest gripe with this one is it's once again $19.99, releasing on the 15th, and it's currently on sale for $17.99. I find this is a lot for this style of game. Like $19.99 is going to be a hard sell for this one, I think, currently. However, They do have the backing that their previous game was a big success. If this one gets some really positive and stellar reviews to begin with, we could be looking. Yeah, I do have a feeling that a lot of indie developers right now are like feeling the crunch and they are increasing their prices. But I'm willing to give this one like benefit of the doubt till I see gameplay or I have a chance to play it myself. But once again, around that $10 to $15 mark, I'd be feeling way more okay with this one. I don't think we're going to stream this one on Friday because I think we're going to stream the next game on Friday. But before we look at the game, actually not the next game, the last game that we're going to look at is most likely going to be the one I'm going to stream on Friday because I'm a sucker for these games. But next we're going to look at Mute Crimson. Now, we looked at this game last week because I actually received a review code for it. And I asked everyone, should I review the game? And I did. I finished the game, Mute Crimson. We're going to take a look at the trailer. Yeah, I will see Vulgar, but like I said, I'm going to be doing special streams this week, so Vulgar might more be like a special stream game, but we're going to see. Let's jump right into this one. Let's watch it. This one is Mute Crimson. It is $14.99, and it is releasing on the 16th, so it's releasing on Friday. So like I said, if you guys come to the stream, you get spoilers. So I played this game last week. I finished this game last week. It is a precision action platformer, however, much more heavily on the platforming than the action. There's actually almost complete levels where you almost do not have any enemies and everything is based around the platforming. However, that doesn't diminish the challenge. It is a very challenging precision platformer. Number one, animations are smooth. They look good. The art style works well. You can actually unlock a modifier for the colors, and you can choose the color of your character and the sort of elements that can hurt you. Because, by the way, everything that's in black and white doesn't hurt you. Everything that's in color hurts you. So you never have to touch things that are colorful, if you will. That's like the basic principle that your brain has to understand early on in the gameplay. So you guys are going to get, like I said, a mini spoiler for the review. There is two gameplay modes that you can actually flip to on the fly. You have the normal mode or you have the rewind mode. Now, you did see them use the rewind function a couple of times in the game, and that actually makes the game a lot easier. Because if you do not have the rewind function on, so if you have normal mode, you have to make it from checkpoint to checkpoint without dying. And if you die, you have to restart from the beginning of the checkpoint. Now, just to let you know, I played through 95% of the game on normal. And there were parts of the game that took me 50 plus tries between checkpoints once you hit like level, I would say 6 and above. Okay, first 5 levels of the game were getting consistently difficult. They were, however, not to the frustrating level where I had to really retry a section, I would say more than 3 or 4 times before getting it. Starting at level 6, however, it is a grind. Okay, it is a grind. If you're playing on normal, this is going to take you hours. And then basically I was running out of time for the review, so the last like 2 levels I did on with the rewind function, because at one point it was getting so like insanely difficult that it would have taken me like probably an extra 4 hours just to get through a section that took me like 25 minutes with rewind, because basically rewind almost means that you never die. Okay, because you can rewind through any section and sort of retry just that section without having to go back to the last checkpoint. So, and by the way, I'm not embargoed, so I can talk about all this stuff. Now, if we're talking about the downsides of the game, for me, the things that maybe disappointed me a little bit about it was that your ninja or your character actually never gains new abilities. He has all his abilities from the get-go, and all the difficulty comes from environmental challenges. Now, the game does a very good job of throwing you new curveballs that force you to adapt with the existing abilities to new situations. However, I would have liked a little bit of progression ability-wise to make you feel like your character's progressing through the game. The humor is very enjoyable because it has a humorous tone in between the cutscenes. It has like a dumbish, like cartoonish humor to it, sort of along the lines of like an Earthworm Jim type of humor. However, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes it's like trying too hard to sell that humor for me personally. And since there's no voiceovers, it'll hit and miss with a lot of people. I think that maybe, and obviously voiceovers in a little indie game is a lot to ask for, but if you're trying to deliver that kind of humor, I think you need voiceovers, because you need an actor to actually deliver how you want the line heard so that it delivers the sort of, humorous aspect of the dialogue. Because someone could read it in a very dry fashion and not understand that it's meant as a joke. Okay, and I'm just getting you ready. Like, if you read it context wise, you'll get that it's a joke. But if you're just reading to read, you're not going to get that it's supposed to be humorous and a joke. Okay, but either way, fun game. I would put it at a 7.5. At $15, however, I do once again find it a little expensive for a challenging platformer. Although I would say quality-wise, it is worth it. Once again, $10 would have been like the sweet spot for this one. Okay. So, but Mute Crimson, great game for this week if you're into precision platformers. Maybe wait for a sale, but if you're aching to play a new one, you're not going to feel gypped at 15. You're just maybe going to just feel like pretty good. Okay. Last game that we're going to take a look at for today is the one that I have scheduled in my mind for Friday. That is, if the developer can provide a review key, it will definitely be Friday. If they do not, I most likely will buy it unless I get a review key to another game that I'm very excited about. And it's not like anything out there. It's just that's often how I do my choices for games, is that, a developer that takes the time to send me a review key, it's not like I'll never change my opinion about the game for that, but I might prioritize it more for a stream or putting time into it. It took me about 4 hours to finish the game in total. However, like I said, had I been hard-headed about it and wanted to stay on normal, the last 2 to 3 levels would have taken me like an extra 4 hours by how hard they are. Okay? Because like the first 5 levels took me like 40 minutes, and then the last, like, there's 8 levels in total, so no, there's 9 levels in total. So I'm 4. Like, I know there was like 2 or 3, like basically 6. No, so it's the first 4 levels took me like 40 minutes. Then level 5, 6, and 7 took me like 2 hours ish. Yeah, 2 or 3 hours. And then the last 2 levels took me like an extra 45 minutes because I started using rewind. So I never had to restart anything. So just to, so it took me about 4 hours. But had I kept going and the way the difficulty curve was going up, the last 2 levels would have undoubtedly taken me 4 hours. If I would I'll be honest, the last boss of the game, I don't even know if I could do it without rewind. It's that, like, no, it's doable, but it's like you have to be perfect. You can't make one mistake. Yes, this is the game that I want to play on Friday. And that's why I said I'm a sucker for these games. Okay, I skipped the ads, by the way. You guys were supposed to get ads. You will not because I want to look at the game. Castaway reveal trailer. Let's take a look. Yes, it is a Zelda clone. So Castaway is most likely the game we'll be playing on Friday. It is a Zelda clone, and yeah, exactly. It gives Link's Awakening vibes, very hardcore. It's supposed to be a bite-sized game. No, it's not the same one. Yeah, I know which game you're referring to, but it is not the same one. It is I have to go find it, but yeah, I know which game you're referring to. It's Rusty Sword. Rusty Sword is the one that I played, and that I even invested in the Kickstarter, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But yeah, no, this is a different one, but you're right, it has the same feel to it. This one is only $7.99. It is coming out on Friday. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. So this one is coming out on Friday. It is $7.99. Bite-size. It says it's a bite-sized adventure. So the reason I also want to stream it is maybe I actually might be able to finish it. Art style looks very good. The basic style is very Zelda, but I love these little cutscenes. They look very well done. The art style is interesting for the accompanying art. 1 or 2 dungeons, I don't know. I'm hoping it's more than 1 or 2. I'm hoping it's like 4. To me, like, if it has 4 dungeons, it would feel like the beginning of Link's Awakening. You know what I mean? You go get the 3 medallions, you go to the final dungeon. So imagine if the game like ends there. Like, imagine if Link's Awakening was the first 3 medals, the Medal of Courage, the Medal of Wisdom, and the Medal of Power? Courage, Wisdom, Power. Yeah, I think that's it. Courage, Wisdom, Power. And then you go and fight Ganondorf, and it ends there. You know what I mean? To me, that feels like the best mix. Like 3 main dungeons with a final one. For a bite-sized Zelda. Bite-sized. Not a full-size Zelda, but for a bite-sized one, that feels like where the game should be. So this is the last game that I'm excited for this week. There are other games coming out this week. By the way, this list is not a comprehensive list of all the games coming out this week. There are many more Switch games coming out this week. Maybe there are some that I missed that will turn out to be very good games, but these are the games that caught my attention for this week. And like I said, this will be a weekly thing on the podcast. We will go through the games that have caught my attention. Sometimes it'll be 4 games. Sometimes it'll be like today where we have like 7 or 8 games that caught my attention. So that was it for the games for this week. I think we have a good lineup of games coming this week. Some of the indie games do feel a little bit too expensive, but those are things that are going to be corrected in eShop deals.